We've talked about harmony. I'm going to talk a little bit about rhythm. The vast majority of the tunes we're going to run into in this course, and that you're going to run into, say, at a jam session, are going to be in 4/4 time. That's just the vernacular of American music, is 4/4 time. You just want to get in your body the sense that every 4 beats, the pulse of the music is starting again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So we're counting in even quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And very often the chord changes are going to be, on beat 1. So there's going to be this deeper kind of sense of 4 beats structuring the piece of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we would call those quarter notes. We're dividing each measure up into 4 equal beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be our bass level rhythm. So if you're learning a song, it's a really good habit to get into, is just strum through it with quarter notes. The strum I'm going to recommend the most in this course is called bass note strum. And what you're doing is, the simplest version would be you're picking the lowest note in the chord. So here's a G chord. The lowest note is this nice fat G note on the 6th string. And on beats 1 and 3, I'm going to play a bass note. And on beats 2 and 4, I'm going to strum. It's great. It works for all the chords. So whatever chord, a 5-string chord, here's a C. I'm going to pick that 5th string as the bass note. D, 4-string chord, I'm going to pick that 4th string. So you want to get those mechanics going in your right hand. I'm kind of picking pretty hard on the bass note, and then I'm letting my hand fall across the strings. And then as you're going to learn in a lot of these song videos, I'm doing one step more complex than that, and I'm alternating the bass note. So each of these basic chords has an alternate bass note. So the G chord, I'm going to do the 6th string, strum, pluck the 4th string, strum. If you go through all the songs in this course, you will run through all the basic bass note, alternating bass note patterns that you're going to need for backing up this kind of music. That's going to be where we really focus. That alternating bass note strum pattern is going to be the main thing you want to do throughout this course. I recommend spending an awful lot of time just getting super comfortable with counting out the measures, either out loud or tapping your foot or nodding your head. You want to get to the point where there's kind of an internal clock counting out those measures for you, because it definitely is a secret to the music to always know what measure you're in, unconsciously, really. And there's really no shortcut to that. Simply learning a lot of songs and playing those songs over and over and over again is going to get that skill into your fingers and into your body, as far as you're going to know where you are in a song. Okay, I'm in the whatever measure, and now it's time to go to the next chord. And it's all about counting to 4. That's really the secret, counting to 4 over and over and over again. The other time signatures you're going to run into are actually pretty few. One of them is 3/4 time. You're going to do a modified bass note strum. So here's a D chord. In 4/4 time, I would go bass note strum, bass note strum. In 3/4 time, I would go bass note, strum, strum. G. A. You can apply the alternating bass idea to this too by going bass note, strum, strum, other bass note, strums. There are time signatures like 6/8 and 12/8 that you may also run into. 6/8 is counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you tap your foot on beats 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a few different ways to strum it. If you wanted to stick with a bass note strum pattern, you could go. So notice that's identical to the 3/4 pattern I just showed you. Really the only difference is that you would count a song in 6/8 differently. And that actually does make a difference because the chord changes will probably be in groups of 6 rather than groups of 3. Two other time signatures you may see in sheet music are 2/4 and what's called cut time. So cut time is going to be when you see a C symbol with a slash down the middle, kind of like the symbol for cents in money. C is a common symbol for 4/4 time because it stands for common time. So it's possible to see some sheet music that just has a C instead of a 4/4, where the time signature is usually. If you see a C with a slash through it, that's the symbol for cut time. And cut time is a little tricky to understand. It's pretty important though. I think tapping your foot becomes the secret to understanding all of this. When you are playing a song in 4/4, if you were to tap your foot, and tapping your foot's a good habit to be in, especially when you're kind of trying to get all this down, you would be tapping your foot all 4 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If a song was in 2/4, then ideally you should be tapping your foot 2 times per measure. And probably that song is going to change chords in increments of 2 beats, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But actually more common than 2/4 is cut time. And even if the music doesn't say cut time, if you don't see that symbol, an awful lot of music in these styles we're talking about is written out in 4/4, but played with a cut time feel. So this is pretty essential. The only difference really, like I said before, is where you're tapping your foot, but that kind of changes the emphasis of everything you're doing. So if we were doing something in with an E chord and we were in 4/4 time, again, I would be tapping my foot 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But believe it or not, by tapping your foot on beats 1 and 3, it actually does change the feel of the music, if at the very least just for yourself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So essentially, cut time is this unusual thing where we're writing it in 4/4 time, partly for ease of reading, if you're ending up reading notes and so forth, but we're playing it with a 2-beat feel, which means you want to only tap your foot on beats 1 and 3. If you're a banjo player, you're already familiar with this because this is sort of fundamental to the rhythm of especially clawhammer banjo. But what I recommend doing is not getting too hung up on the theoretical side of it and simply trying that out. If you're in the habit of tapping your foot 4 beats to a measure, experiment with tapping your foot on beats 1 and 3. It really is the secret to accessing the feel for a lot of this music.